welcome to Hollywood Mindset TV. Tonight, I'm really excited to have a very special guest on the show. Her name is Deborah Roseboro. She's an actress, a model, and a singer. When I first met Deborah, she was super shy. I had her on the podcast because she went to one of our events in Hollywood not too long ago. So we got to talk and we got to hang out on the podcast, and it was awesome. And one of the pieces of advice that I gave Deborah was that she should join community theater because she was living in Atlanta at the time. So I was like, she called me, she's like, Deneen, guess what? I have a role in a show. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, I was expecting her to be like an extra or something like that. And she was like, no, you don't even understand. She said, I have a starring role in Schoolhouse Rock. So I was like, wait a second. So you have a starring role in musical theater in Atlanta? She's like, yes. And the rest is history. So, Deborah, I just want to thank you so much for being on the show. How excited are you to be on here tonight?
I'm really excited, and thank you so much for having me. It's the first time I've ever done this, and I just feel I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
I'm excited to have you on, too. So before we get into the meat of our episode, our interview, rather, I just want to tell everyone just a little bit about Hollywood Mindset TV. So each episode is going to be about capturing the mindset of success. So many people start out in the entertainment industry, and they have the wrong mindset. They want to put the cart before the horse. They're so worried about getting a manager or an agent, and they're not focused on what's more important, which is booking work and making money and actually having the mindset that it takes to make a manager or an agent want to work with you, right? So tonight we're going to talk to Deborah about where she was, where she is, and where she is going. So I know I told everyone a little bit about your story, but can you tell us your story from your perspective?
Yeah, so my story started probably my sophomore year of college. My sophomore year of college, I went and did an open call with VIP Ignite in Alicia, and we drove all the way down from North Jersey to Philly. So it's back in the OG office. And, you know, I got past the first round, got to the second round, met with Alicia, and it was pretty much like, you know, you don't really have a job, you don't have a car, you don't really know what you want. I think you should sit on it, come back. So I did. I sat on it for about 3 years and came back with a job and a car. And my mind was in a much better place because, you know, she did give me the kick in the butt I did need because I was just kind of floating around and figuring out what I wanted to do. So that's how I started with VIP Ignite. From there, I signed up for the LA event. I did the coaching, went to the coaching. Coaching was amazing. I learned so much. The first thing, be a sponge. From there, had a lot more coaching, went to the LA event, was amazing. I learned so much. I met so many great people. I cried, tears, but definitely cried. After that, I went to the New York event, the New York voiceover mastermind, which was a great experience just because of the fact that I didn't even think that voiceover could be an opportunity for me. But it was great to get the tools and learn what to do. And then in 3 weeks, and then also in September, there was a monologue slam, and I placed, which was really great because this is the first time I've really done a monologue and put myself out there like that. So that was amazing. And then in 3 weeks, I am going to the December event, and I'm extremely excited because it's in New York, and it's kind of only an hour away, which is a lot closer than LA. So I do enjoy that.
That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about coaching. You mentioned be a sponge. Can you tell us what that means to you?
Yeah, so be a sponge really means to listen and absorb. I think a lot of the time people will sit down and think of what they want to say next while someone else is talking, or just have the mind, a tunnel vision, like this is what I want, this is what I want to do, this is what I need. But people don't take the time to stop and just absorb what's going around, because I think that when you don't absorb what's going around, you miss a lot. And whether it's you're learning something new or seeing something just beautiful walk by, So be a sponge just really means absorb, be present, and, you know, be there in the moment.
That's awesome. So how has working in with the coaching, how has that helped to transform you? Because I tell everyone all the time that you're one of my biggest transformation stories, and we're not allowed to cry, so there's going to be no tears. But can you talk to me a little bit about what the coaching has meant for you, not only with acting and different things like that, but personally? Because I know I've witnessed a great change, and I want to hear how you feel about the change that I've witnessed.
Thanks. You know, I think, well, the coaching really has helped me find my voice. I haven't found my voice completely. I'm still definitely a work in progress, but looking back from where I am, where I was, where I am now, it's completely different. Okay, I'll start with VIP Ignite. VIP Ignite, going to the December event, I feel a lot more confident going in, I'm so much more excited. Not that I wasn't necessarily excited the first time, but now I feel like I have an edge. I know what to expect. I feel a lot more prepared. And then just in my personal life, I speak up a lot more. I'm not afraid to lead meetings. I'm not afraid to tell the person that is 3 or 4 positions above me that I think they're wrong. I think they're wrong and I don't agree with their opinion. And yeah, I'm a lot more outspoken, which I've always been outspoken around my family, but to be outspoken in the workplace and, you know, just in my everyday life, it's definitely been really helpful.
That's awesome. That's definitely something I've witnessed in you. Like I said, like when we first started talking, you were always so soft spoken, and now it's like you speak up, and the confidence that I've seen in you, you just exude confidence now. Before you were meek and mild. Like even in Hollywood, you were meek and mild, but like ever since then, you've exuded confidence.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic thing to watch, especially being a coach in the coaching, like watching your transformation. It's definitely been one of the most amazing things for me being a part of the company. So I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So let's talk about Hollywood a little bit. When you were in Hollywood, I know you learned a lot and you had a lot of information given to you. So if you had one big takeaway from New York, from LA, from Hollywood, from like one big aha moment, what was that moment for you?
Oh, wow. So during the event, you get a chance to speak with the speakers one-on-one. And one of the speakers was Monique Coleman. A lot of people know her from High School Musical. And we sat in a round table and we're talking. And then it finally asked the question was, you know, how do you get comfortable sharing your dreams with other people? And she spoke about speaking your dream on your lips. And that's pretty much just, if you feel something in your heart, you need to speak it. You need to speak it to existence. You need to get yourself in the mindset that you deserve it and you're able to do it. So then we looked and she was just like, you know, you're terrified. And I sat there and I thought, and she said, I just wanted to think in for a second. I just wanted to think about it. Denise, when I tell you, I just started bawling my eyes out, like ugly cry, tears, snot. But it was not cute. I was like, great, I wear mascara, right? And that, I think for me, that was the turning point. As far as even just sharing the pictures, the modeling shots on social media, like that was, oh my gosh, I don't want to share this when people don't like it, when people start asking questions, when it's like this, that, and the third, you know, when people think I'm crazy. But Hollywood really had me take that first step to put myself out there and say, hey, yeah, I do this. And yeah, that will forever probably be one of the most impactful moments of my life because, whew,
yeah.
that was wild.
That's awesome. I love that she said that because, you know, as you know, one of the first things that we have people do in the coaching is to create a vision board. So like words and visualization are very important. So when you speak something into existence, your words have weight. So even the fact that now you're aware, like that your words have that much weight, that's awesome. Like that's life changing. Like you can use that in any area of your life, whether it's in the entertainment industry, in the business, just in your personal life. Like that's fantastic. That's a great takeaway. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
You learn something new on
that's
this
a
show
good
all the
one.
time, right?
I went to Alicia crying. So why are you crying? You know, they're happy tears, I promise.
Yeah. As you know, it's taking everything inside of me not to cry happy tears for you right now. So we're going to, it's awesome.
Can't do it today. We're wearing mascara.
I know, right? We have our game faces on, audience, so don't worry. There's going to be no tears in tonight, we promise.
No tears tonight.
Awesome. So here's another question. You also mentioned going to New York a couple of weeks ago for the voiceover. How did your experience in Hollywood shape your preparation for New York?
Well, I think one of the most important things was I knew people. Well, let me not say that. I knew people before going to Hollywood because of the coaching, but I was so scared that I didn't want to really talk to people. So the second time around, it was, I know people, and I know that if I want to get to where I want to be, I have to put myself out there.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it was raise my hand, asking a question, volunteering for doing stuff, just because I know I volunteered to do a slate. The first time I did it was completely wrong. Second time I did it was still wrong. The third time, better, it's still wrong. And you know, in Hollywood, I would have never done that. I would have never stood up and been like, okay, I don't know how to do this, but I want to try. Mm-hmm. So going into New York, my mindset is I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and see what happens, and I think it turned out pretty good.
Yeah. Hey, I think you did fantastic. You placed in the monologue slam, which was amazing. Like you got out there, you put yourself out there, and then you placed. So I mean, that alone is fantastic. Like, yeah. Again, as you guys continue to watch this show, you're gonna learn that I'm very much a crier, but like 99.9% of my tears are happy tears because I have the opportunity to watch people like Deborah. I mean, you know, every time you and I talk, I feel like we're like crying together on the phone or whatever. But it's because like what we do is we not only prepare you for the entertainment industry, but we really are transforming your mindset. Because like what was before you started really working with us and getting in the coaching and all, what was your biggest concern about, like what did you think you needed to get started?
Gosh, I didn't even know where to start.
Okay.
Like I was Googling stuff. I was going on like these websites, just trying to like submit for anything. Even just legitimate agencies and submitting for those. My digitals were terrible. You know, and just I was all over the place trying to figure it out on my own. So when I came to you guys and like, okay, you guys are literally giving me a step-by-step. Hey, if you want to do it, this is how you do it. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, starting off in the entertainment industry is hard. Here are some ways you can make money doing, you know, in the entertainment industry, whether it's taking, you know, photography or voiceover or audio books, which is still voiceover. Mm-hmm. But you know, I'm getting tools and I'm learning because I think that's another thing too. I still don't necessarily have a really high knowledge of the industry. So now I'm just being a sponge, and the learning, I think for me was one of the biggest things, not understanding the industry.
That's awesome. Be a sponge. I mean, I think that'll be the title of our show because I think you're one of those people that you really do when you go to the events and when you're going through the coaching, you are being a sponge. You are learning everything that you can. And what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to be teachable and coachable. And the mindset shifts, like even if it's just a little bit at a time, that's totally transforming your whole journey, right?
Most definitely.
Awesome. So tell me about some of the things that you've done. We've already talked about Schoolhouse Rocks, so that's awesome. Like, tell me some of the other things you've done that have gotten yourself out of your comfort zone since you've been working with us.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot more photo shoots, reaching out to other creatives. So a lot of them are aspiring photographers, which is really nice because they're learning and I'm learning at the same time. I've worked with photographers who have just started and then I've also worked with, actually tomorrow I'm working with a photographer who submits for magazines and stuff like that, which, wow, this is
awesome.
Cool. So that's what I've been doing a lot more, just building my portfolio and trying to get the different shots, like the lifestyle and the commercial and editorial. Not really editorial model, but I feel like I should have at least one or two editorial shots. Yeah, I'm just really trying to build, and my friend and I are thinking about starting a podcast. So we are trying to figure out, I'm thinking about starting a podcast. I didn't tell you that.
That's awesome.
I'm so excited. I think we're aiming to start by early spring of next year. We're still trying to figure out logistics and what exactly our vision is going to be. But I don't know. Things are starting to come into place.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I could totally see you hosting a podcast. You'd be like the world's biggest podcast host. So I can't wait. Definitely let us know. Let me know when it launches so that we can promote it, because that would be fantastic.
I will. That would be amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So when you were at the voiceover workshop, did that kind of help to spur you along with wanting to do the podcast, or is that something you were thinking of before?
A little bit of both. My friend and I have talked about it in the past, but we were thinking, we have to go out and get this really expensive equipment and, just spend a bunch of money. But after the voiceover podcast, we can start with a $40 mic that we just put on our computer. We don't have to go buy hundreds and hundreds of dollars of equipment, which is great because I would really not like to spend money on that right away.
Yeah.
But it's definitely helped, and definitely building the tools. And even I'm really excited going forward for the photography and videography workshop, because now I'm going to learn how to edit, and I think it's definitely building for things that I do want to do in the future. So yeah.
That's awesome. Speaking of the future, what can you tell us what some of your goals are? Like, you've obviously you have a vision for the future. So what are your goals for, especially for the entertainment industry? So where do you see yourself in a year? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. In a year, I really want to have a strong portfolio, super strong. I want to have a strong reel. I want to have my podcast up, at least a couple solid episodes in. And so those are my short-term goals. I always dabble and think about possibly a YouTube channel, but I can't decide what I want to do it on. So that's why it's just kind of, that idea is just in a shelf somewhere in my head. Long-term, 5 years. So let's see, I'm 24 now. I'll be 29. Oh my God. That's so soon. I would love to be in a couple shows, whether it's TV, film. I would love to be on stage, but I still have to work on my dancing. So I don't know if I would be there yet, but I would love to be able to, have some work and really, I don't know, I think it's one of those things where I can feel it. I can feel where I want to be and where it is. But I think the actual, I'm going to be in this place or doing this exact thing, I don't think I have that. I don't think that's clear yet.
Okay. That's fair. That's a pretty big question I asked you there. Like, what do you want to do in 5 years? Like, if you asked me 5 years ago, Denise, what are you going to be doing in 5 years? I would never tell you that I'm hosting a TV show online or a podcast or any of that stuff. I would, like, if you would have told me that, I would have laughed at you. So it's amazing. It's amazing, like, when you have the right mindset and you're like, okay, you know what? This is my overarching goal is I want to help people, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my overarching goal. So it's amazing how when you set that intention, how all the other things fall into place. So like you have an intention, okay, I want to do this, this, and this. So as you set that intention, and then you're like, okay, however it happens, it happens. And that's awesome. But one of the things that you have to do also while you're waiting for the plan to unfold is like take some action steps. So what are some action steps you're taking that are going to prepare you to be on stage and to do those types of things?
Well, I think the first one I'm taking is, it doesn't have to be the entertainment industry, but on a personal level, I am studying to become a certified public accountant, just because that's something for myself that carries a lot of weight for me, and that's a goal that I set. So that's my first step. My second step is to continue to learn about the industry, because you can't work somewhere if you don't know anywhere about it. My day job, I'm nerdy accountant, and I couldn't just come off the street and start doing what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn, I had to train, I had to go to school. So it's the same with the entertainment industry. I have to learn, I have to practice, I have to keep doing monologues, I have to keep singing, I have to keep working on my technique, I have to learn how to become a much better mover than what I am now. And I really have to take the steps to understand where I'm going, because I do believe it would be a disservice to be arrogant enough to just jump in and be like, oh, I'm in the entertainment industry. I think that there does have to be a humbleness as far as understanding I'm new, and I have to learn. So that's my biggest action items right now, just learning the industry and trying to learn as much as I can.
That's an awesome action point, and I think a lot of people have to understand that too, because like you said at the top, like getting into the entertainment industry, it's not easy. There are a lot of steps, and it's hard, and there's always a lot to learn, and there's a business aspect as well as the creative aspect, and especially with your background as being, I'm going to say that you are a CPA, because I know you're going to pass the test.
Yeah.
With your business background and all of the studying that you've had to do, it's fantastic that you have that mindset, because if you can study to be a CPA and take all of those steps, if you take that and you apply it to the entertainment industry, which you're obviously doing, then the possibilities are endless, because like there is an artistry to the entertainment industry, as you know, but there's also very much there's logic too. So I love that you're combining the two of them and you're coming up with that plan. So that's awesome, Deborah. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thanks, me.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's come back to more like the present time, and let's think about New York. Okay, so I know we have New York in a couple weeks, and it's like, I know that everyone thinks that they're prepared for their first event, because like we prepare you so much, but as you experience, there's no amount of preparation that we can do that'll actually like have you completely ready. Like we do everything we can, like hours and hours of training and like all the information. But so if what is one piece of advice that you wish you were given about Hollywood that you would want to give someone about New York, like as like someone who's going for the first time?
Oh wow, there's so much. The first piece of advice I would say is listen, and listen to things that people tell you and take it to heart. I think preparation for New York, you guys did give us a lot of preparation, but I don't think I always listened to everything. And I think if you really listen, if I had listened to everything, I'd probably been a little less scared. A little less scared. I still would have been terrified, but just a little less terrified. And the other thing I would say is to really just try your best. don't give up. And I know that it's terrifying because you're literally sitting in front of people. This is your dream, and they can help you get there. But if you don't try, it's not gonna, people can tell when you're not being genuine. So try. And then the last thing I would say is be yourself. Be your authentic self, because when I got in front of people and I started, in the beginning I was like, hi, I'm Deborah. It's nice to meet you, and blah, blah, blah. And that's not who I am as a person. It was really hard to talk to people because that's not what I am. And, you know, when I went to people, I was like, hi, my name is Deborah, but, you know, everyone calls me Deb. I do this, I do X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. It was a much better conversation. I felt like the connections were much better. And even when I talked to people and I wasn't what they were looking for, they were still willing to help me out and be like, oh, you can do this to build this, or do this to build that. So I think the first two things were important, but I think the last one, the most important thing, is to really be yourself, because that's the only thing I can be as myself. I am an actress, but I think I act as myself the best personally.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that line that you just said there, that you are an actress, but you act the best yourself. Like, the thing is when you are talking to the industry experts, you may feel like you're on stage, but you're not really on stage, because they truly want to know who you are. Because I think one of the misconceptions, and I know I had this misconception when I first got started and I was starting to talk to everyone, one of my biggest misconceptions was that they didn't care who you were, they just were looking for a certain thing. And the one thing that I've learned by talking to, I don't even know how many industry experts over the last couple of years, is that they're actually looking for people that they want to work with. They want to like you, so that then they want to work with you. And if they like you, then they'll say, okay, you know what, I really like Deb, so you know what, I can work with her and mold her into the person that I need her to be. Versus if you go in and like you're fake and they can sense that fakeness, then they don't want to work with you, because they're like, if she's going to fake it now, then she's going to always be faking it, and am I ever going to be able to trust her? So being authentic and being your true self is so important, because you're not, when you're talking to the industry experts, and even when we're doing this, like, I want you to be authentic. Like, the whole thing is for you to share your authentic story, so that then people can learn. And that's how they feel too when you talk to them in New York or LA or anywhere. Like, the one thing that we all want is authentic. We want authenticity. So I love that you noticed that, and I love that you recognize that when you were your true self, then you had more success, because then people were more apt to talk to you.
Right.
That's awesome, Deborah. So how excited are you about going to New York? What are you the most excited about the event in New York?
Oh my gosh, so much. Wow. Definitely the Christmas tree lighting, because I am like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be in New York for the Christmas tree lighting. The event itself, the fact that I'm ready to kick butt. Like, I'm ready. Well, as ready as I can be. But, you know, I think I'm excited for the networking event, because it's just like, wow, I'm out here. And then I'm really excited for the inner circle and experiencing that. I'm excited for my first production meeting. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm excited for that.
Awesome.
That's I'm really excited for the ride. Just
awesome.
It's going to be amazing.
Cool. Well, since you mentioned them, I have just one more question for you. Well, I probably have more, but we'll say it's one for right now. So for you, when you went to the event in Hollywood, you weren't inner circle, and then somehow you made the decision that you wanted to upgrade. So what was the driving factor behind you deciding that you wanted to become a part of the inner circle?
It was the fact that I saw the people in the inner circle and they were super confident. I felt like they always knew what was going on. And I was like, well, I want to be super confident. I want to know what's going on. And, you know, if my goal is to be in industry and my goal is to learn, I'm going to get the best bang for my buck in the inner circle. because you learn a lot not being in inner circle. True. You learn even more. So if I'm here, I'm learning this much, going to the events, I'm gonna learn even off the screen when I'm in inner circle. And that was really what my mindset was at. It was if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Be all in, right? If you're gonna do something, you might as well be all in. And the thing I love about the inner circle too is it's like iron sharpening iron, because everyone has the same goals and the same level of commitment. So now it's like you're in a community where everyone is pushing toward the same goal at the same velocity, I guess. I don't know if velocity is the right word, but everyone has the same goals and everyone's pushing each other along, because you see, okay, if she's doing this, then I can do it too. Or in the same thing, like someone's like, oh, if Deborah's doing this, so can I. So that's
Right.
That's awesome. So it sounds to me, it's almost like going back to the mindset, because you like the mindset of the people, and your mindset is that you want to be around people that want to grow as much as you do. And that's what the inner circle is all about.
Yeah. I try not to ever be the smartest person in the room. So
Yeah,
that definitely inner circle I'm not, which is great, because that means I'm learning, and it means I'm learning, which I love.
means you're being a sponge.
I'm a sponge.
We'll have to reach out to Mark Christopher Lawrence and tell him thank you, because we love that. I think that's one of the most quoted lines from all of coaching is be a sponge.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Be a sponge.
You should trademark that if it's not already trademarked.
I know. We need t-shirts. Be a sponge t-shirt.
Yes. I like that idea. I love t-shirts.
You heard it first here on Hollywood Mindset TV, everyone. We're going to have sponge t-shirts. Awesome. Well, Deborah, I just want to thank you so much for being on Hollywood Mindset TV with me. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the fact that you were willing to share all of the lessons that you've learned and your story. And I can't wait to see you in New York City in a couple weeks. And I can't wait to see your mindset grow. And we'll definitely have to do, we'll have to have you back on the show. This way you can share more mindset things, like more mindset lessons that you've learned, and just share the lessons with people. Because I feel like the one thing I've also learned, and I think that you exhibit this greatly, is that when you learn things, it's good to share them, because then you learn them even more on a deeper level. So thank you very much for being on the show, and thank you for sharing all of your insights with us. I really appreciate you taking the time to be on the Hollywood Mindset TV.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's really been an honor, and I really appreciate just everything you've done. I owe a lot of, we're not crying, so I owe a lot of my growth in the past couple months to you. You do so much, and I mean, you and Alicia and Michael and Debbie, and you guys are legit. You guys do a lot. You guys have really done a lot for me, so thank you. And any way I can give back, of course. Of course.
That's awesome. Well, the reason that we do everything that we do is because we care about our talent, which and working with people who are willing to learn and trust the process, because we put you through an arduous process, especially at the beginning. But the people that trust the process and that actually put the steps that we give you into place, and like put them to work, are the ones that we see successful, and who are successful rather. And you exhibit that. I mean, again, like within the first 6 months, you've been the star of a show. You're doing all these modeling shoots. So we're really proud of you. So that's why we had you on the show. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Hollywood Mindset TV. Definitely be on the lookout for more episodes, because I have a lot of fantastic guests that are coming up, just like Deborah. So thank you very much. Have a great night.
Thank you. Have a great night.